Hello. Welcome to the AC Brown Show. I'm AC Brown. Happy Sunday. Welcome, 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 welcome. So glad that you're here. For those of you who are here, thank you for being here. It's going to be a 30-minute show today because I have to teach later on today, but it's going to be a 30-minute show. But today we are talking a little bit about eclipse stuff, but we're mixing it in a little bit with some other things. So welcome, 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 welcome to the AC Brown Show. So I want to talk about your personal legend, okay? And your personal legend is calling. Today is the eclipse. It is September 21st. And we have eclipse, the final eclipse of 2025. And this is a big reset in Virgo. So I want to talk about that. And also in this 30 minutes, kind of really also talk about a little bit. One of my favorite books is The Alchemist. So I want to talk about The Alchemist in conjunction with the eclipse and your personal legend. So Paulo Coelho says, when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you achieve it. So because we have the eclipse, today, this week is going to feel a little inspiring. I like Virgo energy. I have a lot of mutable placements. So I like Virgo energy. I appreciate Virgo energy. Virgo energy is kind of my jam. It rules my 10th house. I'm a Sagittarius rising. So I'm hoping for the best I know that great things are going to happen career-wise over these next couple of things. So I love The Alchemist. So let's talk about the eclipse. So this is the last eclipse of 2025. So it's a completion and a new beginning at the same time. So Virgo energy. Virgo energy is very practical, service, healing, all of that. And I believe that it's in opposition to Saturn. So kind of breaking free from limiting structures, limiting beliefs. And the equinox is also tomorrow. So a lot going on. So everyone, when they are young, kind of knows their personal legend or knows what their personal legend is. And at that point, their lives kind of move in that direction. And what do I mean by personal legend? I mean, in a little bit of what you want to do, why you want to do it, how you want to do it. And I think that kind of starts around the ages of I would even say 12, 13, 14, when you really have an idea of oh, I really want to do this with my life. And then, of course, life gets in the way. And then life happens, things happen. Other people get involved. You have your relationships, platonic, romantic. All of these things kind of happen within that time of you developing your own personal legend. And what is the personal legend? So I like to say your personal legend. And if you read The Alchemist, the personal legend, or your personal legend, as what Paulo says, is what you've always wanted to accomplish, what your soul's always wanted to accomplish, your soul's deepest calling, the reason for you being here. And like I said, that develops around that 12, 13, 14, or you really start getting an inkling of hey, this is what I want to do. This is why I want to do it. And it just starts forming things. And so I think there's 4 stages of a personal legend. So you have the call, the obstacles, then this kind of dark night of the soul or this awakening, and then kind of the transformation. So the call is it's the possibility of having a dream and making everything make sense, that everything is interesting to you. So it's that your soul whispers its desires to you. Your dreams feel exciting. They feel really possible. The universe sends you a lot of beginner's luck at that time, where when you try stuff, things work out for you. Everything's kind of going great. And you start moving in that. And then you have obstacles that come, right? And this is where those obstacles, those tests, those challenges appear. Your fears show up, or life happens, where something happens in your family, something happens, it could be anything, and life shows up and it discourages you off your path. I like to say that's the worker bee years, where you have to make decisions for survival, and it kind of throws you off of your path for like your soul's calling. Then you have this thing that happens to you. Everybody has this thing that happens. Everybody doesn't listen to it, and that's nothing wrong with that. I think people have to listen to it at their own time when they're ready, but everybody has this thing happen where they have this awakening, this kind of shadow kind of comes in and it's like shaking you, like, what are you doing? And where your deepest fears kind of surface, where everything seems to go wrong or life just doesn't feel great and you feel like giving up, right? And so when that happens, and I think many people experience this part probably between the ages of like 27 to like 35, and that big window of that kind of shadow where like, damn, what should I be doing with my life? I really wanted to do this. Now I'm not doing that. I kind of fell into these little things that kind of took me off of my soul's calling. So that happens. And then you make a decision. And I truly believe that everyone gets the call to make the decision. Not everyone makes the decision. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people make their decision at 35, some people at 40, some people at 45, some people at 50, 55, and so on. And so this decision is really about you changing your life and going back on your soul's path and getting back to the things that you wanted to do around that kind of 12, 13, 14 range. And it doesn't have to be exactly, or maybe you just start moving in that direction. So you become who you need to be, and you start looking at your life from a like, who am I kind of thing. Why do I want to be here? Why does this matter? Why do these things matter? Why don't they matter to me? All of that stuff. And so that's what I feel like this eclipse is doing. So this eclipse is going to pretty much call you out on your stuff. And it's going to say, and it's going to touch on a few different areas for you. So it's going to touch on, how have you been lying to yourself about what you want? Are you, the voice of others, the fear of the unknown, and your comfort zone, right? Those three things. So the voice of others is, that whole thing, like everybody seems to have a clear idea of how other people should lead their lives, and but none of them are doing the same for themselves, kind of thing. So you have those family expectations, those societal conditioning things, fear of judgment. So those are kind of the obstacles of living out your soul's legend, or your personal legend, like the alchemist talks about. Then you have fear of the unknown, and don't give into your fears. There's fear of failure, fear of success, fear of being different. And then there's the comfort zone. Many people love being in the comfort zone, attachment to their security, the practical voice, settling for good enough. Those are things that are happening all the time. However, right? And here's the thing about